I see a lot of people struggle with the Gel Mani system by Olive and June, and I will admit that I struggled when I first got it as well. There is a learning curve, but it is so incredibly easy once you figure out just a couple of things. So I am going to walk you through a tutorial on how to use it. So I bought the Gel Mani system in this box here. It came with everything that I needed, and when you open it on the inside, it has detailed instructions for how to actually use it. So I'm going to start with the prep. I've already shaped my nails, so I'm just going to start with the cuticle remover here. I'm just going to put on a little bit to each nail, and then I'm going to rub it in and let it sit for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to rub it off. So it's really easy to use. A little bit goes a long way as well. Like, I've been using this for so long. I do my nails every few weeks, every like 2 weeks at least, and I still like, this still feels like it's a full bottle. So now that I have rubbed it all in, I'm going to let it sit for 5 minutes, and then we're going to move on. The Gel Mani system comes with this cuticle pusher. So before I wipe everything off, I am going to push my cuticles back on every nail. Now that I have pushed my cuticles back, I'm just going to wipe off the excess cuticle remover. You don't need to worry about washing your hands for this part, because we are going to use the acetone to remove anything excess. I usually will start with washing my hands though. So before I do any of this, I'll wash my hands, then I will shape the nails, use the cuticle remover, push my cuticles back. Now we're going to start with the paint. The Gel Mani system comes with this acetone pot. So if you don't have it, then you can just easily use regular acetone at home and go based off of that. So I like to use this cap here, and I will just run it along my fingernails to dry it out, make sure that all of like oils and everything are removed, because if you don't do that, then the paint will not adhere to your nails very well, and that's one way that it makes it easy for everything to slip off. I'm going to start off with the peel off base coat. I like this because when I am done in a couple of weeks with this color, I don't want to have to use any acetone to take the polish off. I like to just peel it off and go on to the next color. So the trick about this is you're not going to cover your entire nail. You're going to leave an edge on the outer side of everything and leave that blank. This is so that when we put on the regular gel polish base coat, that it can stick to the nail and it stays in place. It honestly works out so well. So when I first started doing gel polish, I painted my whole nail, and literally an hour or so after I was done with my painting my nails, I went to go scratch my face or something, and the polish came clean off, and I'm like, what the heck? So I had to figure out where I was going wrong. I was not paying attention to the instructions that were on the inside of the box. I didn't even realize that's where the instructions were when I first got this. I just thought I knew how to do it, and I was gonna go, and I got it wrong. So I'm just painting the inside of the nail bed. I'm not touching the edges at all. And you can just use a thin coat as well. You don't need to use a lot. With every single bottle that we're going to use a thin coat. So don't go crazy. Don't think like you have to keep putting on more. Like, less is more in this situation. Okay, so we're actually going to let this air dry. You don't need to use the lamp for this. It's looking glossy right now because it's still wet. You want it to look matte before we are going to start with the gel polish base coat. These bottles look very similar. The only difference that I have here is the color difference on this logo. So the gel polish base coat is this like bronze color, gold is for the peel off base coat, and then the top coat is silver. So you just want to be very careful paying attention to the color, because that can ruin the whole process if you put the wrong coat on, and you'll have to start all over. Trust me, I did this. Now we're gonna do the gel polish base coat, and this is one that you can do the full nail. You don't have to worry about only staying on in the center, because we want it to cover the whole nail and really lock in the peel off base coat. Again, just do thin layers here. You don't have to do thick coats at all. Just do very thin, and be careful you don't get it on your skin. If you do, we can just clean it up with the brush that comes in with the gel mani system, and then we'll use the acetone and just clean it up before we cure. But you definitely don't want to be having anything on your skin when we do cure. So just be careful about that. You want to be doing this responsibly. So I did one thin layer here of the gel polish base coat. We're only going to do one layer. Now I'm going to use the lamp here. It has a little sticker on it that tells me how many minutes I need to do for each layer that I'm doing. So it's 1 minute for the base coat and the top coat. We're gonna do 2 minutes for the actual color polish, but that sticker there is good for a reminder. So if you aren't sure, you can go based off of that. So since this is the base coat, I'm just gonna slip my hand in and I'm going to do one quick press so that it's 1 minute. You don't need to worry about timing this yourself, because when it is on, you'll see the blue purplish light is working. And then once it goes off, that means that it's done curing and we can move on to the next step. You might be tempted to touch the nail. Don't do that because it is not completely dry yet. It needs to stay tacky, which is exactly how it is right now. It needs to stay that way for when we put on every single layer. So now we're gonna move on to the color. I'm only doing one hand at a time. I'm not doing this both at the same time. It gets messy that way. I cannot do it. So I have to do one hand at a time. Before I'm actually gonna paint though, I'm going to roll this bottle in between my hands. You don't shake it, you just roll it for a little bit, and then we can go ahead and move on to painting. So one thing you're gonna notice is the first layer is very thin. Do not worry about that. We can keep doing more layers. Just do a thin layer like we have been doing and trust the process. Now that we have the first layer done here, I forgot to tell you that you have to cap the polish on just like the very edge of your nail out here. This prevents it from peeling up once it has dried. Even if you don't do it, because I didn't do it the last time that I had painted my nails, it still lasted me for about a week and a half, which is really great. So, but still you want to make it last as long as possible. So cap your nails. You can see that I got some of it on my skin here. So I'm going to clean it up with the brush that came in the gel mani system. I'm going to use that, clean it up, and then I'm going to cure. Remember, you don't want to cure anything when it's on your skin. You want to make sure that you clean that up first. I know that it can be tedious and you just want to go, you want to have your nails painted already, but trust me, this is not how you want to go about it. So clean it up. I forgot to tell you, I am working with the Obsessed polish. This is my favorite color so far. I've tried 3 others. This is my favorite. It's actually the first one that I did buy Olive in June. I usually do 3 coats. So this is not exactly what it's going to look like in the end. It's pretty close, but right now it's still pretty see-through. So I want to make sure that I get it like solid and not transparent. So I'm going to use the lamp to cure it for 2 minutes. In order to get the lamp to go for 2 minutes, we are going to long press the button. This is what the second coat looks like. It looks a little bit darker on camera, so I'll have to take a picture when I'm completely done. But I think I'm gonna end it here with just the 2 coats. I really like the way that this looks right now. Like the shading is perfect for me. And so it's like, it's just dark enough, but it's not too dark. So I really like this. So I'm going to do one more long press of the button on the lamp so that I can cure it. And then we're going to move on to the top coat. So the reason that I like to use gel polish is because it lasts so much longer than regular polish. Usually when I paint my nails with just regular polish, it lasts for like a day. And the next day it's already chipping, and I want to have a manicure that lasts so much longer than that without me having to go to the salon for that kind of quality. So I really like this because I'm really getting the most bang for my buck, and I highly recommend this. I want to make sure that everybody knows how to actually use it and paint their nails properly with this. So that's why I'm going over this, because I don't want anybody to have buyer's remorse because they think it's not working properly. It really is like up to the user. You have to be following the instructions and doing everything to a T in order to get it right. Now I don't have to follow the instructions anymore. I just know what to do, and I am so happy about that. Next is the top coat. We are going to paint a thin layer here on this, and then we're going to do a quick press for 1 minute. This is going to completely cure. It's going to be completely dry, and you're going to be able to move on and just have the best looking manicure that you could get at home. Now that I am completely done, there is one more step to do. We are going to use the Cuticle Serum here. You just click the bottom here a couple of times, and then you're going to run this along the edge of your cuticles on every single finger. So like I said before, this usually lasts me for about a week and a half if I take really good care. Sometimes it can last longer, but otherwise, like, I'm really satisfied with how it comes out. The fact that it lasts me as long as it does is really great because I do not have the same results when I'm using just regular polish. I use all Olive & June products. So in order, what we used was the cuticle remover. Then we used the acetone. This is the nail polish remover pot. There is acetone inside here. I used the cuticle pusher. On the other end here, it has this like plastic blade. You can use this to peel off the polish if you are ready to take it off and paint your nails with something else. I don't usually have to use this. I'm usually able to just peel it off on my own and go on. I also used the peel off base coat, the gel polish base coat. We used the Obsessed gel polish, and then the gel polish top coat, and of course the Olive & June lamp. And we used the brush here to use the acetone to clean up my nails and the cuticle serum. I highly recommend this system in general. Like I said, it works better for me than any other polish that I have used before. I highly recommend this. I already feel like I got my money's worth out of this after like the first couple of times that I got it right, because then I don't have to go to the salon. I can do this at home, and it's so easy. I don't even have to follow the instructions anymore because I know them by heart. Highly recommend them, and I hope that you have the best time with it.